Hello everybody, welcome to another Communion video. Today is the August 2023 episode of the Palaeo Report podcast. And I know what you're all saying. It's September, but I also completely forgot to record this last week. And I'm now recording it today, which is the day it releases. First up is both the smallest and the largest basilosaurid species discovered. Tutsitis from Egypt, which is the smallest basilosaurid ever discovered, and possibly the largest animal ever, Parasitus colossus from Peru. It had the densest bones of any animal ever, and may have weighed up to 2 times as much as the blue whale, despite being about 5 meters smaller than the biggest blue whales. Also this month was the discovery of new specimens of Hupersuchus, which was a basal ichthyosaur relative, and it was discovered that it basically was a small baleen whale in terms of the niche it filled. Its jaws are very similar to that of baleen whales, and though we have not found any baleen yet, it's quite possible it had it. Another thing that was discovered was the first ever free-swimming jellyfish, Burgessa medusa, from the Burgess Shale Formation in Canada, and Prosaurus phagus, an early sauropsid, which is a turtle-like group of basal sauropterygians, and they were believed to be closely related to sauropterygians, but this recent discovery of Prosaurus phagus has confirmed them as true sauropterygians. Then there was another Triassic creature, Venatoraptor, which was a advanced Lagurpatid, which is a group that was related to the ancestors of pterosaurs. And this was the first Lagurpatid discovered with a beak. It also had strange hands with large scythe-like claws. Another discovery was that Potamotherium, which was a early freshwater pinniped, which is the group of seals belong to, that it used its whiskers in the same way that modern pinnipeds do. Also, Tharosaurus was discovered, and a relative of Omargosaurus, which lived in India, and it is the oldest diplodocoid node from anywhere in the world. Then there was a discovery about Kylynxia, which was named only a couple of years ago, in I think 2020, and it was discovered to have been a basal arthropod. So radiodonts, which is things like Opabinia and Anomalocaris, are closely related to arthropods, whereas Kylynxia is a basal arthropod. Then there is Anodoluvius, which is a species of great ape, but it's unknown how closely related to humans it is. It was discovered in Turkey, and it was related to the other great apes. I think it's somewhere between the most basal great ape, which is orangutans, and the other African great apes, so gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, and hominines. And then there was the discovery of the phosphate abelisaurs, which were found in the same formation that was featured in Prehistoric Planet, which was where Phosphatodraco, Tethydraco, and Alcyone were found. Now these 2 species of abelisaurs have not been named, as their remains are too fragmentary for them to be properly named, but these are actually my informal episode of Paleostupidity, which is the temporary name for the segment in this series, which the segment is that I kept getting news articles that popped up that called it a T-Rex relative, despite it not being very closely related to T-Rex. Abelosauroids are ceratosaurs, and ceratosaurs are some of the most basal theropods. They're not even tetanurans, and tetanurans is the carnosaurs, which is megalosauroids, and allosauroids, and the coelurosaurs, which contains tyrannosaurs. So it is very distantly related to T-Rex, and it really annoyed me that I kept seeing articles calling them T-Rex relatives. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode of the Palaeo Report, leave a like, subscribe, check us out on podcast apps. If there's a podcast app that you like that we're not on, recommend it to us. Goodbye.